workspace as well. So Yammer is my example there. The social is something that's going to be ultimately unavoidable. Being able to interact with that, whether you're on a mobile device, be it an iPhone or a Windows phone or something else, or whether it's a tablet, being able to interact with those, and being able to get those answers quicker, is going to be massively important. So previously, if I wanted to get an answer to a question when I was talking with a customer, the old school thing I do is I say, give me 5 minutes at the end of the discussion. I'll walk out and I'll see if I can find someone to go and speak to. That changed about probably 5-6 years ago. I sent an instant message to people. Now I just go on Yammer, ask the question, and within about 5 minutes, the rest of the company comes back and asks that question. The other thing it does is it makes organisations more adaptable. So British Airways use Yammer, so that social element. They basically wanted to change the flight bags that they give to the airline staff who were on the plane. When they were going to do that, they were going to reduce it down to being updated once a month rather tan every time, if I remember correctly. They asked people on Yammer what they thought, and they said, actually, that's not going to work. What you need to do is update it, bi-weekly or once a month, but you can do it in this particular way. These files still need to be here because it's practical, but this stuff you don't need to change. And by using Enterprise Social, they basically averted possibly some risks of an incident if they didn't have the right flight bag, but more importantly, all the British Airways staff going on strike. So actually being able to use Enterprise Social to be able to communicate even internally is massively useful. We use it to communicate out to partners ourselves, something we couldn't really do very easily, and meant to hopefully make less mistakes with partners than we used to. Maybe I'll ask about that later. Mobility is the obvious one. So all the different shapes, sizes of devices, the important thing being is you don't want to have to think about how to get your email, how to get access to a document. You don't want it to have to be a painful experience. So I have on a mobile phone, whilst walking to a presentation at Olympia, I noticed my presentation was out of date. It had 25 gig as a mailbox rather than 50 gig. So I was able to change it on my phone so that by the time I arrived to present, the slides were up to date. I mean, that's quite a good thing to be able to do, to be able to edit stuff whilst on the move. What's more of an achievement is doing it without walking into any trees, people, or out into the roads. But yeah, being able to do stuff on a mobile device is massively important, because there are times when you don't want to hunk around a big laptop if that's the route you need to go to. And the last one I would say is big data. So big data does sound like one of those kind of cheesy marketing BS type things. The time when I've seen this used in a consumer sense is taking something like a database that stores information. So for me, this was Facebook. I'm taking a particular subset, a particular table that's in Facebook, so check-ins. So I don't know if you know, but when you in Facebook you can check into locations. Say I'm here so that your friends know to come and meet you. If I needed to access that information before, I'd need to know how to use, if it was any other data source, SQL or something similar. I need to do a bit of coding. I can't code for toffee, right? A bit of coding and actually be like a business intelligence, a BI expert. Within Excel now, there's something called Power BI, and you pretty much go to attach source or something along those lines. Facebook, I logged in, had a list of all the tables. One of them said check-ins. I dragged it over, and then there was something called Power Map. I said make a map out of this. I told it what were the times I checked in, and then the locations. And it took that big data, because I used to do a lot of check-ins, and actually showed me some really useful information for me as Mark Deacon. That information was that I tend to check into quite a lot of the bars in Reading along the Oracle. So there's certainly something I could learn from that, maybe go to less files in the Oracle. But I was able to access some information without having to have a degree or a massive amount of knowledge of business intelligence. And if I could apply that to some of the work side of things, so I could take the density or the population of each of the counties, so I can pull that from Wikipedia. You literally say population of counties, it goes to Wikipedia, you click on the right one, and then it makes it in the table. It's like massively simple, no copy paste, just click, click, click. I can do that, and then combine that with the sales I have in each of those counties. I can very quickly figure out where actually there's a lot of businesses I should be speaking to, or people, but I'm not selling very well there, and that's maybe where I concentrate my efforts. And taking that big data, which you all have this data to hand in one way or another, and making something useful of it, it is really, really important as well. So big data, as we start to collect more, is the